what was the genesis of this video? How did it all come about, please, sir?
Yeah, I think when everybody in the locker room and I don't know what Woody and JD said, but when we all found out about MLB's plans for opening day, obviously it was on pretty short notice, and we wanted to make sure we did it right. And so we had, I think four team meetings in 4 team meetings, maybe 6 days, 5 days, and we wanted to make sure that all of our teammates were heard and their opinions mattered. And this wasn't even the first conversation. We had a Zoom call, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, with basically anybody in the organization that wanted to be on it, talking about the issue of racism in our country today. And it's been something that I've been honored to be a part of and have an organization that has led these talks from the get-go, and made this an issue that isn't one that we don't want to talk about to ruffle feathers. We made it an issue that we're going to talk about to try to be a part of the solution and try to make sure that there's nothing that people are holding in that could cause any negative thoughts toward one another in such a short season and going forward. So, it came about when, as we started talking more and more about the different options for T-shirts and if we wanted to be on the same page, what Willie and Taylor and other guys of color wanted to do and how they wanted to handle it, and we were going back and forth because we understand it's a politically charged conversation, and it's easy to make a decision and have it be perceived one way, and that's the last thing we wanted to happen. We wanted to be ahead of it, and we wanted to make sure that we let our fans, our friends, our family, the media know, like, this is why you're going to see what you see, and this is why the decisions that were made. And that was, it came about, what day is today? Friday. That came about on Wednesday. So we made the decision on Wednesday to go ahead and be passionate about it, speak from the heart. Nobody was forced to be in it, and nobody was. We came up with a script, obviously, because you got to have some sort of organization. But we really just wanted guys to, if you believe in it and if you want to be a part of it, then please come in. And it was pretty cool to see just how the team rallied around not only just Willie and Taylor and Krabby and Bees and the teammates and staff of color, but each other and the respect they showed each other. And because that's a tough conversation to have, and I don't know how many teams are having it and how many people in the country right now want to sit down and have that actual constructive conversation. But we're interested in being a part of the solution, and I hope that that's part of the message that came out of the video is, we don't want this to just be an opening day thing. We want this to be going forward and seeing if this team can be a part of real change.
Just a real quick logistic question: did everybody write their own message, or what they said? Where did that come from?
So I sat down and jotted some notes down on what I've kind of been thinking the last couple months, and what I was hearing in the meeting, and what I was hearing our teammates say, and what they were passionate about. So I tried to just come up with I don't know, it's probably 5 or 6 paragraphs, and I wanted each thing that was going to be done on opening day to have a snippet about it, so that fans could see who's passionate about it and how passionate we are about it and how important it is to our country going forward. So with help from everybody on the team, I jotted down some notes and then made some adjustments and added a few things, took a few things out, and then after that, it's like any other. It's not like any other video, but it's like any other commercial or anything you see. Players put their own spin on it, and players say what they're passionate and what they feel. Because the last thing we wanted was, hey, we need you 10 guys to do this, and you have to do it and say it exactly like it is. No, this is a conversation that if you're passionate about this part and this is what you want to say, then we want you to say it. And that's how all of our meetings were based. And I think it led to some really good conversation. And I hope later on in the year we can highlight some things that we've done to hopefully help be a part of the solution.
Next question, please. Evan.
Kyle, how did you handle? You got your players in 2 different instances in the video use the words "Black Lives Matter" or "Black Lives Do Matter." That obviously is a polarizing statement that people are dealing with. How did you wrestle with that? How did everybody kind of come to agreement that yes, it would be included?
Yeah, that was a big part of the conversation. I think it's something that was some of the most interesting and coolest part of the conversation, because you have people who, maybe are on one end of the spectrum and don't necessarily align with what Black Lives Matter has stood for recently and some of the actions, but they are 100% behind the movement that Black Lives Matter in this country, and that there needs to be an emphasis on trying to help in that movement toward racial equality and social injustices, getting rid of them. So, like I said, it wasn't an easy conversation to have, but at the end of the day, it came down to we had, say we have 55 guys in the locker room and I don't know how many staff. Everybody was going in the same direction on this, wanting to have a hand in the solution and wanting to be a part of the solution of how we can make this world a better place. And that's part of the reason why we wanted to do the video, was we wanted to let people know that we mean it. When we said politics aside, we mean it. That came up in the meeting so many times about, well, when we say this or wear this is the message we're putting out. And what we wanted to say was this: we're distancing ourselves from those messages. We're speaking from the heart, and we're being passionate about what we believe in. And when we stand next to Willie and Taylor and Krabby and our teammates and staff of color, and we say this guy's life matters, that's what we mean. And there was people of color who had strong opinions on the Black Lives Matter movement, good and bad. And I don't want to single anybody out because they're not here to actually say what they wanted to say. But when I say we had constructive talks and we got to this point as a group, This was it was pretty powerful, and I think it'll set us up going forward to really hopefully have an impact. But yeah, I mean, when I look at the statement, Black Lives Matter, I try to distance away from the group and connect it to the movement. And that's just my personal opinion. Call it wrong, call it right. But do I believe that the lives of my black teammates matter? Absolutely, 100%.
Hey, you're the video guy. Who's the T-shirt guy?
This T-shirt here was the idea was kind of created from Todd Frazier, and he was talking about how when you were a kid and you tried to figure out who was going to be the home team, everybody took their hands up to bat. And when he started talking about having different hands of different colors, playing the same game, and trying to figure out who's the home team, it was a no-brainer. And then the Martin Luther King quote on the back, it was one that Taylor Hearn shared, and he just thought it was a really powerful quote with how he lives his life and his organization. Being a local kid here, trying to really have an impact on his community, it's one thing that he lives by. So that was one thing that we definitely wanted to have involved as well.
And I apologize for this. We haven't seen the back of the shirt,
Oh.
so I'm not sure what the MLK quote is.
Let me turn without ripping stuff down here. Let me know if you guys can see it.
I'll read it so you guys have it. It says, "Darkness cannot drive out the darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that."
Perfect.
So it's a statement. I mean, it's a statement that you've probably heard or read. I think for some of us who are Christians and believers, it obviously hits home. Love is a big message in the Bible, and Martin Luther King's, what he did for people of color was obviously instrumental, and something that was really impactful for Taylor. So we wanted to make sure that this wasn't just our black teammates and staff members creating the shirt. It was a shirt that encompassed all people of color on this team: Asian, Latino, black, white, and everybody had a hand in it.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yep.
Other questions, please. Levi.
Hey, Kyle. So is this a cause that has been I'm not even sure how to ask this. Is this kind of a new thing? You're taking the lead on a lot of this. Is this something that's kind of a new cause for you, or is this something that has been a cause for you for a while?
I think the cause of trying to support and help people that are underprivileged or don't have a leg up, that's something my wife and I have done, tried to be a part of for a while, whether it's international or here. a group that we are close with, Big League Impact. They've done a big STEM project at a school called Normandy High School in St. Louis, which is possibly the least affluent high school in the St. Louis County area. Not necessarily something that we have our hands directly in, but the charity we work with. And then a group that has a hand in that is Crisis Aid International, which is a group in St. Louis that does work, in that direct area as well. And a group, I think it's called Operation Food Search. I'd have to go back and think about that. But they do, weekly meals for people who are underserved and underprivileged in the area of St. Louis. So we try to dive into the community wherever we're at. Mostly we do that with trying to supply meals to people. I think the one event that really opened my eyes to a lot of this was the one I talked about on Twitter, around the death of George Floyd. That Amazon driver, when that happened, it really it startled me a little bit. It's not that I want to have blinders and I want to not believe that it exists, but it's the first time that I feel like I was that close to that type of an event happening. And my wife and I try to do the best we can to treat people the best way we can, and have that be known. So when somebody didn't ask for help because they didn't want to impose and they didn't want to send the wrong message with somebody coming to your door, it was impactful. So not that it led me to become this person trying to lead a movement or lead a charge. That I don't think that's it. But I mean, I think if we want to, my wife and I, if we want to be a part of groups that help people that are underprivileged and underserved and aren't as fortunate as we are, then I think this is a worthy cause to be a part of. And I don't want to make light of it, but my communication background and journalism background and just trying to incorporate that, it popped in my mind, and that's kind of how I became the front man for the video, I guess.